Good morning and welcome to Unity of Tustin, our weekly meditation garden service on this kind of fun race to space morning for any of you who had a chance or cared about that event. It's kind of exciting. So it's wonderful to see you all here today, both to those of you in person, some people here in person we haven't seen in a long time. It's wonderful to see you back, and those of you joining us online as well. We are pleased to welcome back today Darius. We always love having him here. And special guest speaker today, Zelda Benson-Wagner. So you all know her as a long-standing community member, and she'll be speaking to us on the Sum of Us, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your talk. So just a few quick board announcements. So probably the biggest one is around board elections. So final submissions are due today. I will tell you that so far we have a small number of applicants, but a very qualified applicants, those that we have received. So we are excited about that. The process will be submissions again due today, and then on July 25th, the candidates will speak to the congregation during the service. So be sure to be here for that and have an opportunity to hear from them. Also, I want to encourage you to join Craig's class, his meditation class on Wednesday evening. So just a little bit about meditation for maybe some of those of you who are new to meditation and don't regularly join. First of all, it's easy, so you don't have to worry that it's a difficult thing to do. I find it to be quite good for your mind, body, and overall health. As well as perspective, right? Just giving yourself some downtime and giving yourself some quiet space can help sometimes see things a little differently. So it's a great thing to do all around, and I encourage you to look at the newsletter and sign up Wednesday night, 7:30 for Craig's class. Super excited and very much looking forward to our summer barbecue is back. Once again, hosted by the Mutts. Yay. Yes, I think that deserves a round of applause. So that's going to be on August 1st. It's going to be after the service. Our service on that Sunday will be indoors so that everybody can be out here preparing for the barbecue. There's going to be a sign-up sheet. It'll be circulated. It'll be, I think, on the back table. Please sign up so we know how much food to buy. And for those of you online, you can RSVP at events@unitytustin.org. So we really look forward to seeing you all there. It's going to be a great event. And then just a couple more things. After this service, we have meditative dance, which is, really a form of moving meditation. You can sign up in advance for that through Eventbrite, or you can just pay cash at the event. So it's at Site 8. Feel free to join the group over there and have some fun in meditative dance. Youth and Family Ministry is doing a meet-up movie night next Saturday night, so that'll be a lot of fun. Those of you with kids, grandkids, just want to hang out with kids, join Aaron and head out for that event. Sounds like a lot of fun. As always, our prayer chaplains are here with us today. You can meet them right over here by the gazebo, or right behind the whatever that's called, the entry point there by the garden. Thank you. Yeah, not quite the gazebo. On the way to it. And then I will be available after the service at the table to answer any questions that any of you may have for the board. So please feel free to come say hi. Let me know what's on your mind. And with all of that, I would like to invite Mary Jean up to talk about an upcoming class.
This coming Thursday, we're going to begin a class called Listen Deeply, Your Body is Speaking to You. When I first became aware of spirituality, I never considered the fact that my body was involved in the process. Certainly my mind and my heart and my spirit, but not my body. And the person who's teaching this class, Bobby Escarati, has been my personal spiritual director for 5 years now. And she introduced me to the practice of focusing. And it's really been life-changing to know that your body has information for you that it wants to share with you, and it is something that you can turn to as a source. So please think of joining the class beginning on Thursday at 6:30. You can enroll in Eventbrite, or you can email unity@unitytustin.org, and I'll be happy to set it all up for you so that you don't have to worry. But I really encourage you to be part of this really revelatory step toward opening to all the aspects of spirituality, all the ways that we connect with God. So just talk with me if you have any questions. And now Annette will sing Surely the Presence.
Good morning, Unity. You look wonderful today. Thank you. We've come to the time of sitting back and relaxing. Open your heart, your mind, your soul. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Good morning. I'm Patty Higgins, one of your Unity of Tustin prayer chaplains. It's my honor to open this morning's service by lighting our Christ candle and reading our daily word. And I ask you now to help create the sacred space by turning your cell phone off, please. Today's daily word is about praying for others, which is what we prayer chaplains do, and I hope you do too. The Bible verse is from Matthew 18:19. Again, truly I tell you, if two of you agree on earth about anything you ask, it will be done for you by my Father in heaven. Pray for others. Our affirmation is, I know the truth of each dear one I hold in prayer. What an honor it is to hold others in prayer. I am grateful for this sacred trust and use it to see beyond appearances, knowing they are temporary conditions. I focus on the unchangeable truth that each one for whom I pray is a divine being, a living expression of God. As I pray for others, I envision divine peace, calming thoughts, and strengthening faith. I see healing leading to the realization of wholeness. I pray divine love and wisdom create harmony in relationships, guiding every decision. I affirm divine order is established in every area of life. I claim for them the zeal to complete everything that needs to be done. I then give thanks, grateful to bless others with the gift of prayer. Our affirmation is, again, I know the truth of each dear one I hold in prayer. Will you repeat the affirmation with me now, please? I know the truth of each dear one I hold in prayer. Thank you. Amen.
Let us pray. We turn our attention to the divine nature of the present moment. We relax and open to Spirit. We are divine. Everything and everyone derives its existence, its identity from the divine. Our intention this morning is to realize for ourselves and for everyone the health, wholeness, prosperity, abundance, and peace that is ours in oneness with God. We affirm this truth today and always. And so it is. Amen. Before I turn it over to Darius, I just want to introduce Zelda in a new way. This month's core value is diversity. Unity of Tustin is a place of diversity in all aspects, in beliefs, in ideas, in religions, in sexual orientation, in race. We pride ourselves on the diversity of our community, and we invite diversity in all its manifestations. Remember our vision: one God, one heart, many paths. Sometimes when someone asks me, what's the difference between spirituality and religion? And I say, because I really know they just want the short answer. So the short answer I give them is, it's getting a bigger container to hold it all. It's opening to the vastness with a capital V. I don't know if that answers their question, but that's the answer I give. Today, Zelda Benson-Wagner, a longtime member of our community, an expert in the field of finances and investments, now retired, decided after last summer's racial issues divided our country to stretch herself about something she wasn't an expert in, to make her container bigger by educating herself. She's going to share with us today what she's learned on this journey. Your experience may be different from hers. I invite you to open your heart and mind. Take away what resonates for you, what reaches your soul, and release the rest. Religion has rules and dogma. Spirituality is a deep communion with your higher self. This is a dialogue, not a decree. And we thank Zelda for being with us today. And now Darius has a song for us.
In the stillness, in the silence, feel the sacred surrounding me. I surrender to this moment. Open up and I find peace in the stillness, in the silence. Feel the love inside of me. I surrender to this moment. I open up and I find peace. Let my soul speak with with each heartbeat, with every breath I take. In the stillness, in the silence, I feel the light inside of me. I surrender to this moment. I open up and I find peace. Let my soul speak with each heartbeat, with every breath I take. In the stillness, in the silence, feel the Spirit surrounding me. I surrender to this moment. I open up and I find peace. I open up and I find me.
Good morning. Let's begin our meditation today with a few words by Dr. Martin Luther King. Ever-present God, you called us to be in relationship with one another and promised to dwell wherever two or more are gathered. In our community, we are many different people. We come from many different places. We have many different cultures. Open our hearts that we may be bold in finding the richest of inclusion, treasuries of diversity among us. With this message, let's settle into our hearts. Close your eyes if you would like. Take a few cleansing breaths with me. Now focus on your heart. Be here now. Release all thoughts. In this moment, there is no future to worry about or past to regret. We are only here now, in this present moment together. Right where I am, God is. I am surrendered. I am surrounded by the energy of Spirit. Right here, right now. Breathe in Spirit. Breathe out love to all. From this place, we will spend 3 minutes in silence, in this silence. And as you begin to come back to the presence, open your eyes. Take another nice breath. Thank you, ever-present Holy Spirit. We are here today with open hearts and so grateful. Thank you. And so it is.
There's so much information getting in the way. So many things to do, so many calls to make. Don't know my left from right, my up from down, and I just wanna tear it all apart, make a brand new start. Too many TV screens, magazines in my face. Feel like I'm sinking, that I'm lost without a trace. What are we all looking at? Or should I go to find little space to find my very own place? If you just listen, you already know. So won't you listen? You know where to go. Listen to your inner voice. You hear the beat of your heart. You're free to make your own choice. There's so much talking, but who's really speaking to me? There's so much rushing, but I rarely see any speed. I feel like hitting out and screaming loud, but I don't wanna hurt nobody close. So when I need to listen most, is when you listen, you already know. So won't you listen? You know where to go. Listen to your inner voice. You hear the beat of your heart. Free to make your own choice. So many people gonna tell you what to do. Do this, do that, it's so hard to break through. I know it's easy to just stop feeling, but I wanna know what's up with you. Listen, you already know. So won't you listen? You know where to go. Listen to your inner voice. You hear the beat of your heart. You're free to make your own choice. So won't you listen? You know where to go. Listen, enjoy as you go. Listen to your inner voice. You hear the beat of your heart. You're free to make your own choice. So won't you listen? Ooh.
Thank you, Darius. I've been listening a lot lately. Good morning. Yes, I'm surprised to find myself before you on this topic of diversity and racism. But then on the other hand, I'm not surprised. With all this learning, I've been kind of desiring a way to use the knowledge that I've gained and pass some of this along. So Spirit has answered. Mary Jean called me. My stomach sunk. What? I've done a lot of public speaking in my life, but on topics that I just know so well, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning here. So here we go. Thank you, Spirit, for being this opportunity, I think. Part of what scared me was walking the line. How do I say enough to make you uncomfortable or to spur your curiosity, but not so much as to turn you off to listening? If I do say something that offends you or is counter to your beliefs, please say in curiosity and not in judgment. And what I have to share in this time is just so much a smaller part of what there is to learn and what I've learned. I know I'm going to be leaving out a great deal. How did I get here? Well, when pandemic life hit, we all, of course, shut down and had to spend more time with ourselves. With the murder of George Floyd and the resulting racial conflicts, I found myself asking, why are we here again? Why are we here again? What don't I know? I consider myself to be colorblind. I reassured myself that the knowledge in my business, I hired an Asian, a Latino, a black person, all working for me at the same time. I certainly wasn't racist. I didn't see a great deal of racism in my day-to-day life. So what was up? Why all the anger and the hostility? What didn't I know? What I do know is you can't keep doing what you've always been doing and expect something different. So I began my journey to learn what was up, and I have to say, Spirit certainly provided with me some stepping stones. The first one was on Facebook. Doesn't everybody go to Facebook? Many of you may remember Cindy Wigglesworth. She was here in around 2012, I believe, and she spent a great deal of time teaching us about her book, SQ21, The 21 Skills of Spiritual Intelligence. A Facebook post of hers caught my eye. I don't think I had been following her before. She was recommending a multi-week course on racism just about the time my curiosity was sparked. Imagine that. I made the commitment, and through that, I became involved with Unity of Houston, where she attends. They have, and have had for about 3 years now, a Healing the Heart of America ministry. And I participated in many of their offerings over this last year and a half. I have gained a great deal of education, much that I have not heard before, or quite honestly had the advantage of not paying attention to. It just wasn't part of my everyday life. Well, with the numerous racial events of 2020, along with the divisiveness of the entire political arena, my heart was broken and my curiosity piqued, so I began to explore. We certainly can't fix a problem we don't know exists. What didn't I know? First of all, the name, person of color, black, African American. From what I've read, all of these have positive and negative connotations and are actually preferred by different groups, but all are used. Bottom line, ask the individual or the group you're engaged with what they prefer and use that. For my time today, I'm going to switch between them. I know there are other ethnic groups struggling right now, but this is where I've begun. I learned about the white coat. Many people of color have had to put on to fit in and succeed in our culture. Did the people I hire wear a white coat? Well, their names may have indicated that perhaps yes. Richard was Hispanic, Betty was Korean, Samantha was Asian, and Shana was black. Interesting, I didn't hire any unusual names. I learned that research indicates black applicants who removed any indication of their race from their resumes are significantly more likely to advance to an interview. I learned that there are improved jobs prospects for applicants with the name of Greg and Emily, as opposed to Lakeisha and Jamal. And black applicants were half as likely as equally qualified whites to receive a callback or a job offer. I had to look back. And yes, with equal qualifications, I called in applicants for an interview with more familiar names. And yes, I did hire a diverse group, but wow, I contributed to some systemic racism. That was a sneaky little bit of implicit bias on my part. I had no idea. Instead of being colorblind, I was blind to racism. Where else am I unknowingly blind? Another topic I had a great deal of trouble with in my studies was owning my white privilege. First, I tried to soften it a bit and call it my white advantage. I'd like to read to you from a book called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. This is written by former NFL player and sports analyst Emmanuel Ancho. So you'll hear some sports reference here. White privilege is the power of feeling normal. It is the silent reinforcement of being able to walk in a store and see the main displays show products that cater to you. It's the ability to turn on TV and see people who look like you, represented in all walks of life. It's passing the corner office at work and seeing someone who could have been you. It's never having to wonder about the name on your resume is too white. It's talking the way your local news anchor talks, the way the authorities say is standard or proper. It's something as simple as a Band-Aid or foundation color being in your skin color. The way I see it, it's kind of like being on the hometown team everywhere you go. You know the fans are going to be cheering for you and that most everyone in the stand wants you to win. Everybody is ready to give you advice. Everybody likes your uniform and you get the new helmet and the pads and the cleats, all the equipment you need to succeed. You're all set up to win. Meanwhile, the road team has a second-hand pick of everything. Another part of the white privilege is the omnipresence benefit of the doubt. I am going to pause because I don't want you to miss this. Another part of the white privilege is the omnipresent benefit of the doubt. It's the safety of moving through the world without being profiled, without worrying that the police might harass you or worse, just because of your skin. It's the gift of not having your complexion be the reason someone mistrusts you financially, doesn't show you the nice apartment, doesn't give you the loan. It's never worrying that one riot, one gang, one criminal, one anything might mean more prejudice against you too. This may make you uncomfortable or even defensive. Who wants to believe that they're benefiting from a system that hurts other people? I certainly couldn't see it. This was just part of my normal life. But I had to own my privilege. Do I feel guilty about it? No, I don't. It just is. But understanding it now gives me more empathy, more understanding, and more grace for those without that same privilege. I imagine those microaggressions constantly poking like mosquito bites that Black people receive must be wearing on their spirits. Now I read that Black people can experience racial battle fatigue, a form of PTSD. What a way to live. I can imagine the explosion of protesters all feeling, hey guys, just stop it already, it's too much. It's estimated that between 15 to 26 million people demonstrated over George Floyd's death, making it the largest demonstration in the history of our country. Are we listening now? A dear friend of mine and I were having a conversation about diversity training. He's in management and he just wasn't feeling the need for all this training away from the job on diversity. He had grown up impoverished. He told me about standing in food lines with his mother and about at times being homeless. His senior year of high school, he lived with his wrestling coach. Tom worked hard to pull himself up and went on to be a project manager for a major commercial construction company. He has done very well for himself. He felt like if he could pull himself up, anyone could. Anyone can succeed with enough hard work. I have always admired Tom's dedication to being a great husband, a father, and a great provider. He's a good man, and I told him this again. But when I asked Tom if everything in his life had been the same, but his skin had been black. Did he think he would be where he is today? He said, no, probably not. That is where this white advantage played in implicit, unseen ways. Having white privilege does not mean that your life will be easy. It just means that the color of your skin doesn't make the climb harder. And no matter how hard you work, how hard you accomplish, you cannot change the color of your skin. Blacks have always had more hurdles to jump. Maybe we can help remove a few. Are you aware that in all of Orange County, only 1.7% are African American? No wonder I've been able to live my day-to-day life in oblivion about the Black experience. Why are we so segregated still? I read recently that in 2011, a Black couple, both in law enforcement, moved to Yorba Linda, where I live. They wanted a safe community. Shortly after moving in, they were awakened by rocks shattering their windows. And shortly thereafter, their tires were slashed. Their 6-year-old son was told by classmates that he couldn't play with him because his skin was black. The older son was called the N-word as he rode his bike to work. The following year, they moved out of Orange County. I think we can do better than this. Let's talk more about housing and education, the most common way to building generational wealth. The 1944 GI Bill paid the college tuition and living expenses of hundreds of thousands of veterans, catapulting a generation of men into professional careers. Shortly after the bill passed, veterans made up 50% of the students filling college coffers, but only 2% of Black veterans benefited from the GI Bill. About that same time, the federal government created suburbs by investing in the federal highway system and subsidizing private developers to build the houses. But they demanded racial covenants, the white-only clauses, to prevent Black people from buying in to these homes. And earlier than this, the American government told banks it would insure mortgages on real estate if they make them longer and more affordable, offering tax deductions on interest along the way. But government drew red "do not lend" lines around almost all the Black neighborhoods in the country, with a never substantiated assumption that they would be bad credit risks. Redlining did not end until the Fair Housing Act of 1968. Yes, this was back then, it's easy to say, but what about more recently? In 2016, a Pew Research study said only 43% of Black households are homeowners, contrasted with 72% of white households. And the average net worth, this isn't the income, this is your net worth, of a typical white family in 2016 was $171,000. That also includes equity in your home and those kinds of things. That figure is 10 times greater that of the same Black family in 2016 with $17,150. 10 times greater. And this wealth gap persists regardless of household education, marital status, age, or income. You might be able to come up with some reasons for this, but it seems reasonable to me that at least part of this is a carryover from generations of Black Americans having limited home ownership options, so we're now behind the curve. As a financial planner, that's heartbreaking. I know what families need to thrive, and that's not it. And when I think about the very recent, very rapid increases in house prices and the stock market going up so beautifully, now there has to be even a greater economic divide between the haves and have-nots. Having wealth certainly builds wealth. Getting a foot in the door is getting harder and harder. What I'd like to know, is there some reasonable solution to this? I don't know. I really don't know. So I guess I need to keep listening. It does appear we can do better together. A 2020 report by Citigroup calculated if racial gaps had been closed 20 years ago, U.S. GDP could have benefited by an estimated $16 trillion. If racial gaps had been closed 20 years ago, U.S. GDP could have benefited by an estimated $16 trillion. Could somehow closing the racial gap now provide a net benefit to all of our future economies? Dr. Kathleen Phillips of Columbia Business School thinks we're better together. She was the first Black woman to receive tenure and became a vice dean of Columbia. After decades of research, she made the conclusion that it's the mental friction that creates diversity's productive energy. This is a quote of hers. Members of a homogeneous group rest somewhat assured that they will agree with one another, that they will be able to easily come to consensus. But when members of a group notice that they are socially different from one another, they change their expectations. They anticipate differences of opinions and perspective. They assume they will need to work harder to come to consensus. This logic helps to explain both the upside and the downside of social diversity. People work harder in diverse environments, both cognitively and socially. They might not like it, but the hard work can lead to better outcomes, end quote. A McKinsey & Company study indicates companies in the top quartile for gender, racial, or equity diversity are more likely to have financial returns far above their industry. Companies in the bottom quartile in these dimensions are statistically less likely to achieve above average returns. So it serves us all to understand the detrimental effects of racism and do our part to dismantle it. Excuse me. As Shar reminded us last week, our third unity principle is we create our worlds through our thinking and our feeling. Thoughts held in mind manifest after their kind. What are our thoughts and feelings about this subject? How can we change them in an effort to change the world? Changing the world, that sounds kind of haughty, but you all know here the power of the mind. We are creators. What thoughts do we want to hold so we can change the world we are creating, so we don't have to do this all over again? And our fifth unity principle, it does no good to know all of these principles unless you practice them. Knowing them is enough, but you must live them in your life. We must act so we can hopefully avoid, why are we here again? I loved hearing Shar's reading of the Unity Worldwide Ministries' Juneteenth resolution on diversity, equity, and inclusion. If you haven't read that already, you don't want to miss it. Go back either to listen to the service of last week or find that on the Unity Worldwide Ministry webpage. It's called the Juneteenth Resolution on Diversity, Equity, and Income. There's no question action will be happening at Unity Worldwide. I hope in sharing with you this morning I've made you either uncomfortable or curious, either way, ready for some action of your own. Nothing truly changes until we get uncomfortable. That's in our spiritual lives too, isn't it? Nothing really changes until we get uncomfortable. And learning will make you uncomfortable. Do I believe all that I read? No. Some of it's just too far from my background and my experience to understand or comprehend, yet believe. We are granted the spiritual gift of discernment, and I find myself using it often. But I am determined not to close my mind to uncomfortable issues, but to stay in the curiosity and continue pursuing knowledge. What might you do? I listened to a podcast on the National Center for Conflict Resolution titled How to Disagree Differently by Arthur Brooks. This point stuck home with me. If you want a learning conversation with somebody of differing beliefs, The first step is to listen. Do not roll your eyes. Do not respond with contempt or sarcasm. How can you believe that? Or, oh, so we're all racist? This is where conversations will end. If you want to learn more, or more importantly, if you want to influence someone else's position, conversation needs to continue. Contempt is your enemy. Tell me more. Why does that mean so much to you? You don't have to agree. You can agree to disagree, but turn off the outrage. No more contempt. And while it may be difficult here in Orange County, consider getting out and involving yourself in more diverse experiences or gatherings. Or maybe we can create some here. I invite you to join Unity of Houston's Healing the Heart of America on Facebook or on their webpage. In addition to special events, Healing the Heart has a monthly book club meeting by Zoom, and our current book title is called Saving Capitalism for the Many, Not the Few. I am so grateful for a couple of the Black women in this group who have been so patient with my naiveness. I am working with the Healing Heart America and preparing a public event at Unity of Houston that I'm hoping that we here at Unity of Tustin can participate in via Zoom or perhaps bring here to our campus. Are you interested in creating a book club? Well, let Mary Jean or Christy know. I'd be interested in participating with you. And I suggest you read and listen and explore. And if you are watching your favorite news channel, this is a big one, consider watching one with opposing views with an open mind, curiosity, not contempt. Use your gift of discernment, but not judgment. Because of the happenings of this last year, there are so many books and movies on Netflix or Amazon Prime, podcasts. Learning is available in so many forms on so many different sources for whatever time you have available. Brene Brown has 2 podcast series called Unlocking Us and Daring Leadership, which you will find free on Spotify or on her webpage. One of our community members, Irina Lara, sent me a link to Brene's conversation with the Emmanuel Ansho, the author of the book I quoted today. This was just about a week ago. She was another one of my spirit messengers for my talk today. So here is his book, Uncomfortable Conversations, just came out recently by Emmanuel Ansho. Another recently publication that I took my talk title from, The Sum of Us, What Racism Costs Everyone and How We Can Prosper Together. That's by Heather McGee. There's lots of other books I'd be happy to share with you. But I want to thank you for being here today and listening with an open mind and heart, remembering nothing changes until you get uncomfortable. Let's bring some of that change together. Thank you.
Thank you, Zelda. Before we have our time of our love offerings and our tithes, I just want to ask if there's anyone here for the first time. If you're willing to raise your hand, the ushers have a packet for you. Is there anyone here for the first time today? Welcome. There's a name tag inside that packet. If you fill it out and wear it, it will be able to identify you and greet you. Welcome to our service. Thank you for being with us today. And as we come to our time of love offerings and tithes, don't feel you need to participate today. You are our guest. But for the rest of you, I just want to speak briefly about ways you can give. Certainly today, the ushers will be passing the love offering baskets, and you can put your gift in there, your check or your cash. We also have a way for you to set up a recurring donation. And please see me after the service if you have questions about that. You can go to our website. And we also have the swiper. I was charging it, so I didn't bring it out, but I can bring it out now. That's another way for you to make a credit card donation if that is easier for you. And there are just any number of ways to give, any number of ways that you can benefit your spiritual community. So let's say the love offering blessing together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And now Darius has one more song for us.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Zelda. Thanks for having me. It's nice to see human beings. I think the planet's better with us on, huh? This is an original song called Choose Love. So many choices in the world today. Too many things can blow your mind. And if you're needing just the simple truth to see you on your way, remember, choose love, choose love, choose love, and keep on shining a light and choose love. Choose love, choose love, and keep on shining a light and choose love. Life is a game that we're all free to play. You can hold it down or let it breathe. And if you're looking for a simple song to sing along the way, together, choose love, choose love, choose love, and keep on shining a light and choose love, choose love, choose love, and keep on shining a light and choose love. Only love can move mountains. Only love can lead the way. Love is always forgiveness. So make that choice right here today and choose love, choose love, choose love, and keep on shining the light and choose love. Choose love, choose love, and keep on shining a light and choose love, choose love, choose love, and keep on shining a light and choose love, 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 choose love, and keep on shining a light. Choose love. Thank you.
Thank you, Darius. So before we close, I just want to remind you that prayer chaplains will be available for prayer at the entrance to the meditation gardens. I see hospitality bringing out some, looks like additional items than we've had, because hospitality is back on a somewhat limited basis, but they do have many goodies back there to offer. So join us after the service for hospitality. And let's close with the greatest prayer of affirmation of the unity movement, the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Go forth in oneness.